Man, my OC cave hasn't been really doing well. I haven't gotten any ideas for a new OC. What are you doing in here, OCs I haven't used in a year? Sigh. I'll guess you'll work. Hey, howdy, I'm FrisMcWiz, and today, we are redesigning my old fantasy characters. And that's right, I haven't used them in over a year, and honestly, it's such a shame because I really do like these characters. They're just kind of boring compared to my new current style of designs. So today I want to give them a good refresh on their designs, their story, and overall world build. So let's get to remaking them. Yahoo! Well, first one on my chopping block is my Aloc Vow. So, when making character designs, what I like to do, I like to go on Pinterest and make like a little board about them. But the thing is, when I go through Pinterest nowadays, there's one thing I always seem to come across. What's with all this AI schlop? Someone please put Pinterest down. And or me. Hello? Now, if you're anything like me, you hate seeing AI while you're just trying to scroll through art. Now, thanks to today's sponsor, Unveil, you can be free from AI. Now, Unveil prides themselves in being 100% AI free. I personally have been using Unveil to store my OCs because I have a ton. I've been dumping a bunch of OC doodles onto this website that I haven't really put anywhere else, especially my character Rory. There's perfect spots to keep track of your character's lore and your traits, so if you're like me and you forget like, oh, my OC 6 foot tall, this is a perfect place to keep track of that. Even if you aren't an artist, this place is also perfect for writers and storytellers. Being a perfect spot to brain dump and write about your stories you've been thinking about. And my favorite part of this website is the question of the day. It will give you a little prompt to answer about your OC, and it's always so fun to see other people's answers. And even the community is super sweet and warming. They've been welcoming me onto the website. Now, if you're interested in Unveil, the link is down in the description. And Unveil, thank you so much for sponsoring me. Gulp. Oh boy, I like looking at fishermen. Wait, I should be showing off here's what I should be showing off, not the fisherman. When I was creating Vow's board, I had a few things in mind. Originally, my character Vow was a king of some sort, like a king that basically kept magic to himself. So, kept it closed space, because in this world, the use of like magic recklessly causes like magic residue, and it creates monsters, right? Vow originally banned it in the first version of the story, which I don't know if I'm gonna keep that. But since I had that in mind, I have a crown, more like formal fit, which I do still think he's a part of the royal family. Yeah, so I have this character named Thistle from Dungeon Meshi, so that's like a big inspiration on Bro's character. So I really wanted something frilly. I wanted to have more curly hair this time, because in the original design, he has pretty like straight, semi-messy hair. But like it didn't really it was starting to get boring. Like the design started to bore me because it was just some basic formal shirt, cape, and pants. So I wanted to add some type of like interesting silhouette, and I think embracing like a natural hair texture, and so just references for elf ears and all that. So that's the board. Yummy my tummy. I rub my belly. It's yapping time! As you can probably tell at this point, I started off my OC Vow. When coming up with the first concept, I struggled a little bit, but ended up with this frilly, more like dress type fancy clothing. I say dress because that weird like tailcoat thing, I don't know what to call it, but it's there. And the big poofy sleeves. It's very frilly, very poofy, and I really liked it, but it wasn't giving the vibe I wanted for this character. I wanted this character to have more like royalty rather than like vampire vibes. For his second concept, I went for something more close to the original design, at least for the outfit. I know I said I wasn't gonna go for a fancy shirt, fancy pants, and fancy cape, but that's exactly what I did with it. I just gave it more detail, gave it more pizzazz, and made it look a lot more luxurious. I don't think this guy is going to be a king. Like, I originally wanted him to be in the first concept I made of this character a while ago, but I think he is more of a magic researcher, someone who studies magic, someone who studies the dangers of magic. In all of these concepts, I decided to give him curly hair, and I think long curly hair really suits him. It gives him a really interesting silhouette. Now, I was gonna do 4 concepts, but I ended up just doing 3. The third design is more of the current Vow when he joins the party with the other 2 characters I'm remaking. I gave him the same stars as the second design because the second design I want it to be the design before he joins the party. There is definitely something that happened between current and now Vow, but I will get to that in a second. Usually I would just draw the design in a more finished style like I usually do. I decided to redraw this drawing. The reason being is because I thought it would be a perfect way to show past and current Vow. Of course, past being the painting back when he was considered royalty. Now, he was a part of royalty or nobility because he is related to the current king. Now, Vow was originally supposed to take the role of king. But the reason being why he didn't take that role was because he was not fit to be any type of ruler. He was very much a sit in his room and read books all day rather than lead a whole country. Because of his love for magic and love of reading and studying, the current king has put him into a more fitting job for him, that being a magic researcher. Researching magic is a very important job in this world, because in this world, the use of magic, at least the use of magic without knowing how to properly use it, can cause magic residue. Magic residue can build up and create these mana beasts. With how dangerous these mana beasts are, the public use of magic has been banned. So if you get caught doing magic, you go bye-bye. Since he was given his role officially by the king, he can legally research magic. But with being a magic researcher, he did end up taking on an apprentice. A promising apprentice at that. Her name is Clementine. The reason why she decided to become an apprentice is because she wanted to put herself in a position where she can research magic and solve the curse she personally has. I'm not going to get into her story right now, just in case I want to make a part 2. But basically, she betrays Vow and, like, evil magic, giving him that scar. And now he has amnesia, and he's trying to figure out who he is. And fun fact about Vow, someone who legally can use magic if he wanted to, he's actually allergic to his own magic. So it basically burns him when he casts spells of any kind. It could be healing, it could be water, it could be anything, and it will hurt him. There's a lot to his story I'm still building, and I'm not sure how much I'm willing to share just yet, just in case I want to make another video or a series on this. So if you really like these characters, leave a like down below and let me know. Now, for Kettle's board, I didn't really put much in here because I really don't imagine that she wears anything too interesting. In her original design, she doesn't really wear much. She wears pants and bandages. That's all she wore in the original design. So I was thinking that I would at least have more interesting pants to add to a different silhouette. And I definitely wanted shorter. So I was like putting these as a reference. I feel like she would be more of a assassin type. She is a cat character. She's cursed to be a cat. So yeah, I have that in my ears. And also the fact that she's assassin, I imagine she's very sneaky. Next up on my chopping block is my OC Kettle. She was a fairly challenging one to design because I wasn't sure with the direction I was gonna go with, especially since she's part cat and I wasn't sure what type of cat, if she was tuxedo, like calico, or just like an orange cat. I decided to go with an orange cat only because those are the most chaotic. All these designs are very based off her original design. For example, the first concept, I kept the hairstyle, just like brushed it back out of her face. And I also kept like the bandages. I really like that. But I added gloves and I made the shirt like a shirt rather than just a bandage top. And I made her pants be more like fantasy inspired, I guess. Not really, they just look like sweatpants with a tie on them. Now, for the second concept, I really wanted to play with that long hair. Although I do imagine it would be inconvenient given she's more the assassin type. I really like the second concept's pants a lot more. The sash really is scratching my brain. So I yoinked that. Now, for the third concept, I ended up blending the stuff I liked between the first two together. Kinda, not really. I made the hair shorter, but still long. I kept that, like, crop type style. And I kind of just mashed a lot of things together. I ended up not liking the third one, like, at all, and I never really made it more finished. Now, talking about her lore, at a very young age, she was cursed. Thanks to the curse, she started to grow a lot more body hair, which she didn't really think about it. Her family's a very hairy family, but she really realized she was cursed when she started to grow a cat tail and cat ears. With how this curse works, the more time that passes, the more cat-like she becomes. Eventually, if the curse isn't cured, she will just become a cat. In this world, there's such a stigma on the usage of magic because of the mana beasts that it's basically viewed, if you get cursed, you did something wrong. Like, you used magic, you caused that on yourself, and it's your fault. Which, it's not. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't Kettle's fault as to why she got cursed. Curses are actually fairly common in this world, but a lot of people hide it because of that stigma. It's a similar curse to what Clementine has. Now, Kettle's father was never there for her or her brother Stern, even before she got cursed. But after she got cursed, her mom decided to abandon both of them. Abandoning her brother Stern because he didn't protect her from the curse, didn't stop her from using magic, even though she didn't. That was the stigma, that was like what they believed. So it's really just her and her brother Stern growing up. Now for Stern, yet another small board. Like, all these are small because I am building off of what the original design looks like rather than making a whole new character. So here I decided to go for a more wild, more like barbarian type feel, because I do imagine rather than just like, you know, a button up and pants, right? I do imagine he would have some layers to keep him warm. Like his sister, he doesn't have that natural fur on him. So I was thinking maybe he fought a bear, wears that. I really like the bear idea, so let's see if I'll play with that. And needed some armor, so I have that in this board. And yeah, those are the Pinterest boards. That's the Pinterest board. Yay! It's yummy Stern time. So for Stern's design, I wanted to make him a big, burly, buff man. Clearly. With his first concept, I was trying so hard to try a outfit. I fell in love with the long hair, but I couldn't do that long hair on him. It just was not working. No matter what type of concepts I tried doing for him, I just could not figure out an outfit for that hair. So moving on to the next outfit, I decided to go for a more wintry, more like a survival look rather than a warrior. And I really like this design. I gave him a hatchet, I gave him like this cool belt, and of course my favorite part would have to be the bear. I showed off the bear like idea I had in the Pinterest board, but I just fell in love with it. I had to make it work. But he has a lot more scars on him than the original design, and that's because I'm thinking maybe he's the one that like deals with Kettle whenever she has her moments where she goes feral, more animalistic. So he's the one who keeps her from hurting anyone else. And he also lost his eye to Kettle due to an accident. Now, with the last design, I really like this last design. It is yummy, it's perfect. It is, I went for a more warrior vibe with this. Did I go with it in the long run? No, because I feel like a more casual look is more his thing. Because this feels like he's an adventurer, he's about to go into a dungeon. No, he's just some guy. Now, with the lore with Stern, he is basically the protector of Kettle. He's the one who does odd jobs to raise money for her so she doesn't have to go into town. He's the one who basically does everything for their survival. Although Kettle always tends to get them in trouble. But yeah, he does a lot of info grabbing from working small jobs in taverns, doing odd jobs for weird people, trying to find a cure that may help his sister. His personality is a very sweet, very calm personality. He's like a father, even though he doesn't really know what a father really feels like since their father kind of dipped on them. Now, going back to Vow on how they joined Stern and Kettle, basically Stern found Vow like hurt in a forest while he was just trying to collect wood. And keep in mind, Vow was like really beat up, really like ouchie ouchie wouch ouch. And at this point he has amnesia. But Stern recognized bro, and he's like, hey, wait, aren't you that one guy that only sometimes come out in public? Because keep in mind, like, Vow is like this very important person. Like, Vow is publicly known as a magic researcher. So Stern is just like, whoa, maybe I can use your knowledge, because he doesn't know this guy doesn't remember anything. He doesn't even know if he's correct. So he's just like, wait, so do you know how to solve curses? And Val's just like, what? What are you on about curses? Where am I? Like on the brink of death is when Stern is trying to ask this. After realizing, oh yeah, this guy's like really hurt, and also realizing that he can't remember anything, Stern decides to finally help bro. So that is how Vow joins the party of Kettle and Stern, and their goal is basically get Vow's memories back and get like some type of cure for Kettle. Even after like working on the story for roughly a year, it's all still like in concept because I've been busy with other things. So if you guys want me to build on the story or build off the characters I have in this world, since keep in mind, it's not just these three. I have Clementine and I have a bunch of background characters, and I still need to design a overarching villain. Because Clementine, she is a bad character, like a bad guy, but she isn't the villain. So let me know if you guys want a part 2. And yeah, that's the video. Bye-bye.